What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Metal Maniacs Podcast Presents the Last Week on Earth, where we cover weekly metal news and local news and releases for our area. I'm your host, Jay Ingersoll, and right here is my co-host.
It's your boy Mod. What's good, Jay?
What's up, brother? A little trials
Yeah,
and tribulations today.
yeah. I mean, life's got to have some interest, right?
Yeah, got to keep it. I mean, what we talked about the other day teaches you a little patience sometimes,
Yeah,
Stuff ain't
yeah.
always
So,
going to go your way, but you know.
yeah, so the family piles into the car yesterday and go to start the car and choke, 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 nothing. And so instead of blowing my stack like I might otherwise do at another time in my life, I was just like, deep breath, here we go, and everybody into the other car now, please.
Mm,
Just let it, just like totally unbothered by it, and took care of it today. Like
yeah.
just called the auto store, and yeah, they test the battery, the starter, the alternator, and all that. So got that taken care of, to the tune of money, you
Right.
know.
But
So, but yeah,
if
but
you
it's
can't
taken care of.
change it, yeah, you can't change it. So,
Yeah,
couldn't have really
yeah, it was.
prevented it or anything. That
I
stuff
mean,
just happens with cars, maintenance and all that. But
yeah.
yeah, that's good
Thankfully,
of
it's
you.
not the alternator.
That's good of you though, because I understand
Yeah,
that too. Sometimes you might just want to blow your stack,
yeah,
but
yeah. I don't need the kids seeing that, and at least
right.
it's not the
And,
alternator. So
and it's just stuff, man. Come on. That ain't it's
yeah,
really the least important thing of yeah, it's
yeah.
transportation, but at the end of the day it's,
And more
trivial and
importantly, I'm ready to like take the kid to school and pick her up next week. That's the most important thing. Like I didn't need the car immediately. We had the other car, and now we got the weekend. We got the other car together. So yeah, that's me in my world in my life today. Like that's my news that the car battery died and I got it replaced. So
well, I
that's
mean, it's almost good that it didn't happen on school morning or something.
yeah, yeah. That would have
So,
been a real drag. Like
right.
I
So,
wouldn't have an answer for that.
right, exactly. Then you'd be really scrambling. So, there's the
Right.
upside to that. So, all right, man, you ready to get into this?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I guess should I take the lead? That's the way we've been doing it,
yeah,
right?
drop one on us. What do you got for
Yeah.
news?
So
What
it
interested you this week?
I thought this one we would both appreciate it. Like it's a smaller story, but I thought I would bounce it off of you to see gauge your reaction. But current Killswitch Engage guitarist Adam D and former Killswitch Engage vocalist Howard Jones have recorded a debut album together, and they finally have released the name of the project, and that is going to be called Scion, Sion.
Isn't that
Uh,
what
or at least
Jared Dines was called? What's Jared Dines and Howard's project?
let me check it out real quick because I'm not sure. Jared Dines.
Howard
Oops,
Jones.
Jared Gines, Howard Jones Project. Scion. Yeah, interesting. I'm surprised. Now, let's see. Good amount of time. Okay, unless I'm reading this incorrectly. Back to demos. Got to work. Different projects come with small. Back to demos for Scion. Um, yeah, that's. I am made of questions. Like why are there two why are there two projects called Scion?
Well, as soon as you
Oh,
said
I'm
that,
sorry. No, I am reading this article wrong. It says they have come to a name of it, but it's
but it's
still
not
a
released.
mystery. Yeah, these troll fucking
Oh,
articles, man. Yeah, I was just reading it and I misread it. He has been working on new demos for Scion. So there's the news story. There
I
is a name for their project.
I did hear it
Um,
was Ill Switch Can Gauge.
I wish there was more to the story than that, but at least they're making new music. That's the part that I wanted to really get to was like
Yeah.
Adam D and Howard Jones working together. How do you feel about that? Some
I,
excitement
I'm
there.
I'm good with it, man. I live and die by almost everything that Adams D has done, whereas
Right.
other metalcore along the way has kind of just drifted away. They've always kept it pretty heavy, but somehow
Yeah.
still simple, but melodic and really technical at the same time. It's like they just have a great mix of everything. And Adam D always, I mean, his productions and everything. I just really look up to the guy. He's really badass. So almost everything he touches to me is sweet. I love Times of Grace, the side project. Even the newer one
Yeah.
that's a little more rock and a little less metal is really good
Sure.
still too. So big
Says it's
fan.
their first time working together since 2009 self-titled album.
Wow,
So
15 of them.
can't believe it's passed like that. But yeah.
Jeez, crazy.
So yeah, we can look forward to that. Maybe next time we get together, we'll have a follow up with the actual name.
Actual name, yeah. Not the
But
same
more,
name as the Jared Dines band.
yeah, no, that it said Scion in here, and I was like, huh, and I didn't know the name of that project. I do know that they work together, but I guess I got a little ahead of myself there. The main point of the story is that they're working together and about to drop something, so that part is cool
Oh yeah, dope. I'm looking forward to it. All right.
for sure.
So for my story, I just wanted to cover that Helmet, a band that you and I have seen live.
Yes, we have.
And I remember we used to jam that in the meantime all the time. That was something we used to jam.
Yeah,
And
these,
I remember we rocked it. We even played some Helmet songs back in the day. So when
yeah,
I seen this, it kind of intrigued me. So,
yeah.
but they actually announced that their tour has been canceled due to a combination of significant financial issues and lower than anticipated ticket sales, a challenge many artists are facing this year. The band anticipates returning to touring in 2025, but their European tour in November will proceed as scheduled. So frontman Paige Hamilton stated, "While we are eager to get back on the road, the timing for this tour wasn't ideal for us. We're looking forward to our November-December European tour, which is shaping up well, and we plan to return for more U.S. dates in 2025." So I wanted to ask you, is this becoming a problem? Is there too many bands touring?
Good question. I'm surprised that a long stay name like Helmet's having some financial issues. I don't know. It's sad to hear that, but they've been around so long. I have seen this crop up here and there. I know even Anthrax has canceled like a European tour, and they've been around forever. It makes me question how you can go about planning a whole tour, announcing it, and then have to scrap it. Like, who is making decisions that say go ahead and announce it, but then having to retract it and say no, we actually can't do this. But cost of everything is up. Travel is not cheap. Gas is not cheap.
And if tickets
Um,
aren't selling like they're saying,
yeah. So, and that's the point that I wanted to make earlier when I was thinking about this article is that a lot of times, for whatever reason, consumers are not like buying the tickets in advance. They're waiting until like week of, sometimes day of.
yeah.
And I've seen venue promoters and
Yep, me too.
places like post like, hey guys, we need you to buy these tickets if you want this to continue to happen. If you want metal shows or if you want, these EDM shows to happen, like you can't be like buying the tickets the week of because then we don't know what we've got and it's too short notice and we might even have to cancel these things because we have
Right.
to pay the artists. And I think with that said, as a consumer myself, I get it. Like I don't always run out and buy a ticket in advance. A lot of times it does come down to I don't know what my schedule is going to be.
Yeah.
I
A
don't
lot of
know if I
other
should
stuff
spend
going
this.
on.
I don't know if I should spend this money now or if I should wait till I know it's safer to spend it because I might actually need that money. Allocation of funds is definitely something that everybody's got to consider. Everything feels tight right now. For my part, I definitely try to buy a ticket when I know the concert is announced and it's going to happen. Sometimes that depends, like on if I can't go with my wife and kid or my wife, then I have to know somebody else is going to go. So, for instance, the Megadeth concert coming up next month, I'm going to see Mudvayne and All That Remains in Megadeth. Um, I didn't really like. I was like, whatever. But then somebody asked me, and I was like, okay, lock it down, let's go, and I'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
because like I'm not taking my wife to see those bands. She doesn't really care that much for those bands.
Yeah.
But like get four homies rolling out to it. I was like, well, that sounds like fun.
Right.
But I think that that's an instance of I still went out and got these tickets well in advance. Like I'm still a month out. Who knows if people are still like debating on seeing that show out there at DTE? But I think that's the biggest issue is that people are not buying the tickets in advance.
Yeah.
And specifically to this case, I don't know how big a band name Helmet is to some people, what that fan base looks like. Like a lot of Helmet fans, I imagine, are a little bit older and maybe not like going to go out of their way to go to that concert no matter what. Like, oh, I love Helmet, but I don't think I'm spending the money or I'm making a plan on it. I'll just go if I hear about it on the day of or something. But that sucks. I hope it's not a trend. Um,
Yeah, the reason why I asked just it seems like this year more than ever, like every week I'm seeing a new tour or a new band. I'm like, I can't go to all these shows, and if I had my choice, I'd be going to a new show every single week. You know,
yeah,
it's like for real. Like there's so many shows that are being announced and tours, and that's a great thing for music and metal because it's it seems like there's a place for it out there, and it's really making a resurgence or has been for the last few years now, after
yeah,
COVID. But it just seems like, there, if it's a logistics issue or a money issue, it's just, then with venues taking the merch cuts and all that stuff, it just seems to be problematic. Even a few bands that we've had on the show, the way they talk about it, it's a grind, it's a hustle, man. It's
yeah. I
especially
was
because those guys are our age or older. And we've talked about that before. Like, we're not gonna sleep in a van at this age.
no,
So,
no, and I know that helmet's been around a long time, and they're probably a couple years older than you and I, and they're probably not for that life either. It's like I need proper staying accommodations, so if we can't afford it, like we're not doing it. Like, I get that too.
right.
Um, so probably got some new releases. I might have some if you don't cover them all, but what have you got for new releases this week,
All right.
Jay?
I'll go through the list real quick. So we got All for Metal, Gods of Metal. That must be pretty fucking metal. We got Demiser, Slave to the Scythe. We got Flesh God Apocalypse, Opera. And then before I even move on, though, probably would have listened to this Flesh God and this other album that I'm going to announce. But you
Okay,
know why I haven't been listening to them, Nick? Because I've been
tell me,
listening to
Jay.
Sepultura still.
Yeah, I've been cramming in the Sepultura homework too. Yeah, yeah,
Still listening to the Sepultura, Nick.
yep, yep. I've got
All work and no play makes Jay a dull boy.
I've got a few more to comb through so that I can say that I've listened to them all. So I've got my work cut out for me tonight and tomorrow. Probably squeeze in a few. Like I've kind of been getting it in and then putting it off. So but yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Sepultura as well. It's the topic of the moment right now, and seeing some engagement on that, like seeing people's reactions. I can tell a lot of people have not been listening to the newer work, which is it's a shame,
Oh
honestly.
yeah,
Like
yeah, for sure.
it's it's so good, and yeah, I know we'll talk more about it, and without making the whole newscast about Sepultura,
Yeah.
but man,
Go listen to the
the
last
like
episode we dropped. The last
yeah,
two.
the last four albums that these guys have put out they're incredible. Like going back like 14 years ish, something like that, 13, 14 years, all the way back to for me, Kairos. All of those albums are bangers from that point forward, and
Hmm.
then working my way back. I did listen to the one prior to that, which is not Dante, but right after
Alex.
Dante, Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough sell for me on that one. So we'll see what Dante
Yeah.
holds for me, and then I'm going to work my way back to the first three that Derek Green was on. So I
Yeah.
still have some work to do there. Might
We'll
even have to
get
touch
there.
back on the
Well,
the old Max material too, which I know I'm not like that. Them first two
yeah.
probably too raw for me.
Yeah.
Too raw.
Those kind of flew under the radar anyway. But back
Yeah.
to these new releases.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in more Sepultura information, though, go watch the last two episodes of the last pod or the not last week on Earth. That's what I was going to say. Go listen to the Metal Maniacs podcast.
For real.
All right, so back to these new releases: Grave Noir, Devant les Portes des Étoiles.
Okay.
I'm going to say that's black metal because it's on Season of Mist. So, but I
Yeah.
could be wrong. King Crow, Hopium, Knife,
Nice.
Live Leather Hounds EP. That's got to be heavy. Cold Brand, Ignic Skansel,
Okay.
Mike Tramp, Songs of the White Lion. That sounds interesting.
All
Miss
right.
May I, Apologies Are for the Week. It was re-recorded, 15th anniversary edition. My
Okay.
Fiction's Touch of Glass. And then Nile, The Underworld Awaits Us All. I did listen to an interview this week with Carl, and it was very interesting. They talked about the new album, so I can't wait to jam that one because that's going to definitely go on the rotation, I'm sure. I did hear
Right.
one song from it, and it was brutal.
Okay. Yeah, I know how Nile gets done. I've heard one song too. There's a super long title. Like I'm not memorizing that title, but gratuitously long title name from Nile that I've heard spin on the satellite dish.
Yep. sounds about right. I know they got one spinning right now. So we got the
Yep.
Oklahoma Kid, Feather Minded. We got Paralydium, Universe Calls. We got Rising Insane Wildfires. Simone Simons, Vermilion. That's
Mm,
on Nuclear Blast. That's I'd be interested what that actually is because that's so Spectral Wound, Songs of Blood and Mire,
okay.
Virgin Steel. That's and then Virgin Steel, Guardians of the Flame Anniversary Edition. So it looks like a couple anniversary editions for them. Warlord from Ashes to the Archives.
Yep.
Zeal and Ardor has got a new workout called Grief. I've very unfamiliar with those guys, but I've heard their name a lot, and I felt like I've heard a half a song, but not enough to
Yeah.
probably
It's
dive
it,
in like I should. Zimmer's Hole, Bounded by Fire, that's a re-release, and another Zimmer's Hole re-release, Legion of the Flame. So that's what I got for new releases this week.
I also see when unmentioned was Within the Ruins Phenomena
Oh,
2.
yep, forgot that
Okay.
came out.
And then and they've got a single looks like a video drop called Castle in the Sky. The Zealand Ardor is like a mix between black metal and some kind of either like folk or almost like some like it would sound like some southern but like New Orleans type, rock and roll in there. I almost feel like the guys from our boys in Vestigial would dig them, especially Michael Stelma. I think
Oh yeah, yeah.
I gave I think he either recommended them to me or vice versa. I
Yeah,
think
I
I
thought we had
now
mentioned them on the pod
yeah.
during
So
their
definitely
episode.
yeah. He told me, and then I told the guys in Rip Van Ripper. I think, but
Nice.
Zealand Ardor. It's kind of all over the place. They've got three vocalists. The main guy up front plays guitar, two backup vocalists, and that's all they do. And then he's got other instrumentations around him. So it's a huge wall of sound coming at you, but it also is very stripped down and simple at times. But vocals all day. If you like vocals, it's pretty cool.
I'll check it out.
Uh, yeah.
And then
It,
before we
yeah,
get
go ahead.
into your next story here,
Sure.
I just a real quick. I did listen to Dark Tranquility's newest from last week that we mentioned, and man, that's a great record.
They're
Really good.
back.
It's
Hell
really
yeah.
good. I loved it.
Yeah, I did listen to a track from the new Flesh God Apocalypse, and it sounds like Flesh God Apocalypse. I mean, I know they've had some member changes, and it's taken
Yeah.
some time to kind of get back on the horse, but it sounded as much like them as ever. So if you're a fan of them, I don't think they fell off or changed their sound at all. I haven't listened to any more than the one song, so it just came out. But yeah, Flesh God is back, so that's something to look forward to.
All
Yeah, I'm
right.
curious about this Simone Simmons though. Just looking at the artwork, that looks pretty cool. Vermilion,
Yeah.
that's pretty dope looking.
And what is it on? What did I say? It was on Nuclear Blast?
I have to see if I can find it again. I'm scrolling.
Oh, I got it right here. Yeah, it's Nuclear Blast.
Okay, that's
That
cool.
makes
Gotta
it
love nuclear.
interesting.
Yep.
All right, you got another story for us, buddy?
Yeah, let me bump over here. So this one's kind of sad, and I hope everything's all right in the world of Queens of the Stone Age. But they did call off all remaining 2024 tour dates. They issued a statement. It was pretty vague. I know they had to cancel a couple of shows because he had to seek in a medical emergency surgery. Um, but it looks like Josh Homme is undergoing some health issues, and therefore they just wiped all of 2024 out for whatever remains. Um, and it didn't really offer much. It just says festival ticket holders are advised to visit specific event sites for updated information. Um, due to a medical care, it is under doctor's orders that Josh Homme remain in the care in the United States.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, every effort was made to push through and play for you, but it's no longer an option to continue. So I know that the man has fought cancer and won, and all signs do kind of seem to point toward that. I mean, the other thing is I know that he's had substance abuse issues. I don't want to even speculate. If it's one of the two, either one would be fitting of canceling a tour to make sure you get your health in order here. But basically, just kind of wishing him well. I know Queens of the Stone Age, I feel like it's for metal fans. It's kind of like hard rock
Hmm.
and bluesy, but songs for the deaf rips. I think if you listen to songs for the deaf, like that's for fans of metal, even if it's not a metal band. So I had to speak to that and wish him well, and hopefully they do come back with something. I know that their latest work I listen to. I don't have the title offhand, but I put it on. I asked Alexa to play it one day, and I was just bobbing my head to it. Like, this is good. It's not slamming like some of their older stuff is a little bit heavier, but nonetheless, it was really good.
Really good hard
So
rock.
yeah, and just like
We need good
good
hard rock.
good instrumentation, and
Yeah.
I good
Yeah.
songs, and I really loved it. So hoping them for the best for them, and I hope he recovers from whatever he's fighting. And I've been critical of this guy. I have been super critical in comment sections, and even a friend chiming in like, "Hey, like their new stuff is pretty good," and I just think that he was going through a phase in his life, and he's got a lot of personal issues too that were kind of out in the open. And I'm not trying to slag the man. I know he's just gone through it, and he kind of acted out in a way, but he seems to have his head on straight these days. Is the finer point.
Right.
And to see him come around to like a healed version of himself, and now he's got like health issues is kind of sad. So I hope that if this guy's got his act together, he can get through the health issues that he's embattled with right now. But just thinking of Queens of the Stone Age today.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets through whatever he needs to get through and they can get back doing what they do best.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. My final story is kind of a sad story. Unfortunately, sometimes the news is sad, but
Yeah.
Eric Barrett, the bassist of 100 Demons, has tragically passed away. This
Huh.
struck me because I remember listening to these guys when I was getting into like the metalcore and hardcore, back in the 2000s or whatever. And this was a band that probably, I think Luke showed me another one of Luke's stories. But yeah, so he showed me these guys and they were just heavy punishing, but it's very sad. The vocalist Peter Morrissey posted a tribute on his Instagram, and I just want to say condolences to Eric and the best wishes to his family because that's terrible.
Did you
Marcy
have the,
basically said that when he received the news yesterday, it felt like time stood still. It was the last thing I expected, especially so soon after losing another mutual friend. I'm sharing this to let everyone know that Eric Barrett has left us, and we are all heartbroken. A true friend, brother, and bandmate has been taken from us in an instant. So, and
yeah.
then he goes on to say some other stuff. He says, "We'll always cherish and love you, Eric." So, man, sad news for the 100 Demons camp. I don't know how active. Haven't really followed those guys in a while, but just definitely a name that rung in my ear and remember jamming those guys quite a bit. So,
Yeah, that's sad. I was looking for maybe a post regarding his age to see how young the man was, but if I'm looking at these pictures, I'm thinking he wasn't much more than 50, which I still say is like way too young. Um, Let me go back and see if I can find his age real quick. But yeah, that sucks to hear. I mean, especially if it was unsuspected, there was no, signs of it coming. Tragic. Well wishes to his friends and family there.
oh, it kind of looks like
Condolences.
they weren't active after basically 2004 for the most part. So they're not an active band anymore. But at the same time, it is sad because I don't think none of them guys were that old in that band. So,
Right.
all right,
Sad.
sad, sad.
We got any other announcements? I know we did.
Just a few we talked about. I know we got
Okay.
what did we talk about? Reinventing yesterday.
Yeah, they got a show at Bell's in Kalamazoo
Yep,
in
that'd
November.
be Black Friday. I actually will be there.
Okay.
I'm going to be filming that show for them. I think me and Jeff are actually. And so yeah, we got that. That's what is that? November 25th usually. Got to remember the
Um,
exact date for that.
Black Friday. I don't know if it was the 29th or the 25th. Let me take a look real quick here. Black Friday. Black Friday 2024. Friday, November 29th.
Oh, okay.
At at,
So, yep.
at Bell's in Kalamazoo, 355 West Michigan Avenue.
Yep. So there's that. We got, I know Necrium came out with a new single this week, and it's called Spawn Unbound. So they are on all streaming services. We just had Necrium on the show. They were one of our more recent interviews, so go check those guys out. Super killer band. Haven't got a chance to check out the single, but I definitely will.
Yeah, same. I have to make time for that too when I stop listening to Sepultura.
Yeah, right. Me too.
Correction on that address was 355 East Kalamazoo Avenue on
Oh,
Bell's Cafe
okay.
in
Yep.
Kalamazoo.
At Bell's.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we were discussing other local shows coming up. We've got If He Dies, He Dies performing at Pyramid Scheme this weekend or next weekend, I think. Yeah, next
Next
weekend.
Thursday, I think.
August 29th with Many Eyes, who we talked about recently. So they're coming through and they're going to have the Dies guys open up for them at the Scheme, at the Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids. So that could be a good time.
And there was
Uh,
one more I wanted to talk about that's coming up, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about this. But we got on September 14th at the Pyramid Scheme, which is coming up real damn fast. You got Goat Whore, Vitriol, Necrofire, Vestigial, and Chain Ripper. So get your tickets for that. I know the next date after that, Recorruptor and Throne are playing that with Goat Whore and Vitriol over on the east side of the state. So we got one
right.
Goat Whore Vitriol show here, and then a few days later, one over on the other side of the state. So with some other homies that have been on the show. So,
Mm.
yeah, lots of shows. I mean, there's even more than that, but hopefully we can get on the bandwagon, so to speak, and get these bands to send us some stuff. We haven't really put it out there that much, and got to do some tags and maybe some DMing just so they're pay more attention because obviously not everybody's going to see the post anyway. That's just how
Right.
social media
Or
works, but
they do and they forget by the time it counts.
right, yeah, yeah. When they
Also,
get to do it, what's up, buddy?
we'll also announce one last time here, assuming this comes out like tomorrow afternoon,
Yeah,
early evening. There is the Michigan Metal Fest in Battle Creek, which we've mentioned a few times now, with
yes.
some of our homies in Recorruptor, Kill Tomorrow.
Casket Robberies playing, I believe.
Okay, yep. There's some more in here. Head PE and Mushroom Head headlining that show.
Nice.
But yeah, all the way out at Battle Creek. What was the name of the venue again? I'm sorry. Where is? Okay, there it is. Layla Arbitorium,
Okay.
Battle Creek. So yeah, the Metal Fest today. If you're watching today,
Yep.
tickets
Get out
still
there today.
available.
What the hell are you doing? But
Yeah.
listen to this. All right, cool. Well, we want to say, well, that wraps it up. You got anything else, buddy? I don't have anything else.
Nope.
All right, just
Nope.
want to cover a couple stories this week, talk a little metal, and I will see you soon. And with that being said, y'all, much love. Keep it metal. Peace.
Word.